Even the dog going crazy. Second stream on a moon day, November 3rd. YouTube just freaked out. I always get a weird, undescript phone call and then my phone freaks out. That's weird. But then I could answer a call and go back to the stream. But when that phone call comes through, it like arrests everything going on. Like they got extra privileges on the GUI or something. But I'm back. I was talking about, but Grandma said we ending, thus filtering all the perspectives of everything that's going on. If you're one, thank you for coming to my TED Talk again. Composure Slim, whoa. We've been filling in the arena in just a second here. Once YouTube stops playing with me, drop a like, drop a like. Let them know it's live. High five, high five, high five. Everyone's so tense out in these streets, boy. Hmm. The United States ain't gonna look good as a third world country, boy. I could, you know what I'm saying? Like the vibe already low. Imagine when it's lowy low. That'd be drastic. Just certain areas, of course. So much land here. You want to feel it all at once. But where the places where you'd feel it at, Lord have mercy. I don't think people would manage. The vibration is already low. So imagine, like, if they make any more adjustments to the world that we all knew, like, what would that look like? These are very valid concerns and thoughts, actually, because we're at the precipice of a decision about it. And we don't control the options. Shit, it don't even seem like we vote enough to control the decision for the outcome. Responsibility. Someone said that in the last stream. Nah. This fuck shit is fuck shit, and no matter what I do in my life, this fuck shit is above my pay grade. So I couldn't even be responsible. Because I'm responding to what is ever variables are left filtered through all the fuck shit. They ain't mine anyway. You understand? Like, socially, it's impossible. We don't create these programs. We don't control these outcomes. We don't create the outlooks. We simply navigate. We navigate whatever it is. And every time it is something, it shifts again. So then you have to navigate change constantly. Navigators, movers, all kinds of things. Same story, just like the ocean. It can be clear and sunny one day, and the next day you have a damn tempest. I don't know where the fuck that shit come from. So same story. As within, so without. It's like a tempest to your society. Like what the fuck? How can it get any weirder? How come no one seems to know? How come everyone's just on their phone? How come like they're asking all the same questions at once? What changed? All the men are the men outside anymore? What changed? All this in these days and when you're a millennial and blah blah blah. What changed? Everyone's describing change. Everyone is describing in their own area of expertise. Something changed. In corporate America, something changed. In the hiring process, the AI and 11 rounds of interviews, what? Something changed. And, we ain't got no money for food stamps. All the social programs, Jesus Christ, something changed. Something changed. Something changed. It's not Trump. Trump is not big enough to change everything, bro. Like, someone's got to take some fucking accountability for their damn self at this point, right? You know what I'm saying? Humans don't have to change because there's a president, bro. But something changed, including the quality of presidents. Your last one was senile. I ain't forget shit. You can't remember a damn sentence he said in 4 damn years. Like the president, like the leader of a corporation. Like, they just tucked that shit under the rug. Like, Biden was fucking there with us. Did you remember that man talking in the last 4 years? You didn't see that nigga walking off stage to nowhere? You didn't see everyone looking at his ass, make sure he don't just wander off somewhere looking for some fucking ice cream? Like, that was the president of the United States. Like, real life. Like, we skipping some steps in this motherfucker. We had Trump already. What changed? And then we had 4 more years of Weekend at Freddy's. What changed? And now we're in year one wrap up of Trump. What changed? This shit has been a circus for at least 9 years in front of us. This man was president already. And really, I didn't even notice a bad report during that time. I mean, everything they said about Trump. But for me personally, in the local variable living life, I mean, I was all over this bitch under Trump. Now this time, I guess, is it time or is it Trump? Or was it that pesky pandemic that closed down everything at once? That was a military demonstration, which was based on not reaching a threshold of a pandemic anyway, whatever it was. And a lot of people from back before then ain't here with us. What changed? Like, there's a lot of people who ain't in this game because of some fucking experiment. We can't skip past go on none of that shit and talk about economy, let alone in the land of Indians. The fuck going on here? We still Indians, bro. A foreigner reclassifying us in a system does not make us less Indian blood. People of the land. Keep it simple. People of the land itself. People who've been here longer than it itself. Us. We've been here the whole time, Hoss. So I guess from that perspective, you have to see it. You know, it's two different systems. Like you, your life, where you are, what happened to you, and why you're in it the way that you are, versus it itself that did it to you. I don't think everyone in the system gets to look at it like that. They see options. I don't see options. There are no options. Occupation does not leave options. You can look at it like it's not an occupation, but then you'd have to explain everything weird going on and chaos and violence. Feel like they took over the White House. Sounds like an occupation to me. They feel like they're being occupied by Israelis right now. So can you imagine how I feel? Especially neither side is me. So it's occupation no matter what. So you have to look at it outside of it. You don't have a choice in Hades. If your grandma says she Indian. Ain't no one fighting for us. That shit in Venezuela ain't fighting for us. Them food stamps emergency ain't really fighting for us. Like, it's our land and our food anyway. Like, if you really do the science on anything, Indian. So, like, they owe you just for being here. Let alone. But since that's not identified and that's not the game that people are playing, then, you know, how it goes. I'm just here to tell you it didn't always go that way. It's a recent phenomenon anyway, so keep it in mind. If you talk about their granddaddy's time, depending on who your granddaddy is. Did your granddaddy have kids with an Indian? Was your granddaddy's grandmama an Indian? You ain't got that many years before it now. Thus, we kind of got way ahead of ourselves in so many different dimensions. We're still at problem number 1, and it's at problem number 13. Those are two different problems. The United States has a very big problem. It's huge. Astronomical. No other civilization had this problem. Per their summaries. They weren't reading about colonizers. They're reading about kingdoms. Incompatible. So a corrupt system is corrupted. Can you imagine the laws of algebra? No shit, Sherlock. This is a no shit Sherlock outcome too. Responsibility. What? Now we're born through captivity. We're never at any of the functions where we choose. We're born into the matrix within a matrix. Talking about waking up from a matrix or two, right? Like you gotta stack this shit up, man. United States is running out of time to exist here, occupying Indians at the very least. They could probably afford to go somewhere else by now. You would think, as much money as it borrowed to be here, it could have built its own thing already. It didn't. It never built its own thing. It doesn't have anything. That's why it's going bankrupt. Because it doesn't own anything. It's borrowing to exist. So occupational force that borrows money to exist, that cannot pay that money back to exist, is threatening other people's existences if, for whatever reason, they don't support its continued existence. That's the full sentence of what's going on with the United States of America, by the way. And it has nothing else to borrow to exist. One more time, roll that shit back. We ain't talking about we, the people of shit. We're talking about the way things is or isn't. Something changed. I'm telling you, the United States changed in an instant. It's now in the most vulnerable position you've ever heard about, and there's no logical reason for it. We can blame AI if you want to, but that's just 3 years ago. So, ooh, sad story, dude. AI doesn't know half of what it needs to know to get any of their equations right about which way it's going to go. Because for some fucking reason, people forget the United States is occupying lands of Indians. It's not part of it. It'd be impossible for a corporation to be part of a nationality. No such thing. Ever. Anywhere else in the world, neither. That's why they don't have a problem with Venezuela. At the very least, they see themselves as the same people. Tough. Per capita. Not everyone, but per capita. The United States can't even defend itself. What is it itself? Paperwork, buildings, bank accounts. The United States leader is from fucking Germany. Like, what's the long term? You know what I'm saying? What's the reference point here, buddy? That man can't remember the land before time here. He wasn't here. Your damn president of a thing was nowhere near the thing when it got here either way. But I'm saying the people of the land will put up a president who's not from the land anyway. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's like a foreign occupation. It's weird. It's weird. It keeps happening. Oh my God, Obama from Africa, Indonesia, Hawaii, whichever one you show. Whatever, he's not from here. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Hillary Clinton's from Germany. It's our family, whatever. Weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. No one in the Civil War, no one in the American Revolution, but everybody else's kids is your goddamn president or politician. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Don't they have that girl who had to marry her brother from Somalia? AOC best friend and hijab or something? That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. Who's she representing? Weird. Weird. She Indian? Weird. Weird. Married her brother? Weird. For a passport here? Weird. 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 And she's over these things? And benefits? Weird. That's fucking weird. Wait, she really wants to help our people? The fuck? When? Weird. You heard Kamala Harris? I can't just do nothing for black people. Your ass didn't do nothing for Jamaicans. Weird. So if I know your track record in Jamaica, I know your track record over here in California when you're not fighting and biting. Ain't gonna do shit for me either way. And I'm Indian. No. Hell no. Y'all bugging. This whole simulation is tripping out, boy. Mandel's law be damned. Nah, this is something different, boy. They ain't even see the angels this time, boy. Damn, they done scrambled their eggs in their Babylon. They done remixed your whole fucking language model. Nothing add up. And they're talking English. That is, listen, we're gonna need a movie about this one day. They had Sandra Bullock in that bullshit. Something happened with the bird in the cage, and they had to cover their eyes to not see the things. Some weird foreshadowing. Bird box ass civilization, boy. Can't even see the fucking elephant. That's crazy. They can smell it though. Where's that smell coming from? There's an elephant in your living room. What living room? Ha ha. Ha ha. What living room? That's right. Why am I in a room? Let's think about it, man. A walled city. We can't just come and go as we please. We're under occupation. If we can't just come and go as we please, we're definitely under occupation. Ain't they fucking property? Who the fuck are they? They own our land. How can they claim to possess anything? It's weird. They're breaking rules that don't exist, I guess. But if the rules existed, you can't do it, but they can. You're in occupation. You're in a bad way. If the people who run your government can do whatever the fuck they want and never be held accountable, but new laws are passed every day against you to get to your accounting, oh no, your civilization is cooked by everybody's book. So, of course, the worst things that are happening is the best thing that can happen. And that's where it's tough. Because deep down, people know it. The United States wasn't meant to live another day. Why would it? The best things about United States history is the movements, situations, and flashpoints of culture that the people itself made out of the very limited things that it had access to. Options again. Responsibilities. You know? Look at the options it gave. They defunded vocational programs in schools. You had a dad or uncle used to say that when they were in high school, they learned how to fix cars. My dad did. They actually had vocational classes in high schools back then. 70s. Teach you how to fix cars and engines and all kind of shit. Then somebody defunded it. And now everyone's talking about what the kids really need to do is get into energy and vocations. Alright. Why ain't they teaching that shit in high school? Matter of fact, better question. If everybody fucking know that, then who's creating the fucking agenda for high school anyway? How come they haven't already done that? What are they teaching these kids in the meantime, seeing society changing? Like, for real, like, what's the point of going to school for if it's not preparing you for anything, let alone the fucking future? It must be a fucking Ponzi scheme, and you must be under occupation. I know, the schools are the occupying force. I know. You see them do it to Africa. They did it here first. We know. You don't need Oprah's friends to tell you it's bad news for some foreigner to come over and tell you what to do and what to learn in school. Ain't that what the fuck they did here? With integration? That's in the 50s. No one had to go to their schools before that. These motherfuckers be talking about politics and can't even fucking refer to history. They ass wasn't there. Obviously, their parents wasn't either. It seemed like everyone got here after the fucking 60s. You should ask them people about the goddamn 40s. What was the life like then? What about your grandma's friends? Nothing. Crickets. That's strange. To have a societal amnesia in real time of the society. Almost every 100 years. It's like, that's part of the process. To make you forget where you came from. Now they're doing it again. Like, people forgot what the United States is supposed to stand for. While they're looking at it and what it is now and saying, hey, how come there's no more handouts? What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? We're stuck on the wrong step with the problem. Still, socially, we're talking about the audacity of the intended benefits of paying taxes all the time. But we're never talking about what it is now. It's never done it. It's never done right by the people. It's never done it. They keep saying it's a bipartisan issue. Get rid of the bipartisanism and just take care of people. How about that? We're talking about basic shit since you compel them to go to your schools. Like, you should have nice schools with nice technology and make sure you feed the fucking kids that you're making go to school. And their parents required to go to work to pay for things. Like, maybe your responsibility as a government is to actually be a fucking government since you want to take control of everything any fucking way. And that wasn't what the Constitution was for anyway. So what are we actually doing? Some made up shit with some new people. I know. I'm telling you. Occupation. If the beginning of the story don't match the people currently in the story, somewhere in between the story, something changed. Well, if it changed from its principles and its new principles don't care about principles, you're under fucking occupation. I'm saying the United States occupied Indians, and then the United States itself within got occupied again. I'm saying you gotta stack this ladder up. You gotta stack. APAC ain't enough. You gotta stack this ladder up tough. The United States is under occupation again. It's occupation squared. They stole the land and the principles and the resources from someone else, corporatized, revolutionized, went to some wars, and through politics, pandering, and honeypotting, and APACs, and lobbying, they end up becoming compromised, and now they're puppets, thus they're occupied through their ass. You can't do nothing. You're talking to people who are compromised, right? Like, the White House, seemingly, based on all of its policies aligning with foreign groups, seems to be compromised about its own local integrity. As if it ever had it, though. But at least those mean old grumpy white people were building, I guess, new cities for white people and casinos. I don't know. It's a weird story, but we're not there anymore either. We're somewhere else. So since then, you got this other thing going on. Sending all your troops to fucking Venezuela. They never even told you what for. They'll tell you drugs, someone else will scream oil, but then the question hasn't been answered. What for? Why now? What's going on? We ain't got some other shit we can go to war with first, you know? I think Venezuela is always going to be there. And if you wait, it might get better for you. Not right now. That lines up with the American dream somewhere. That's going to help us meet our targets. $30 to $50 billion a day. That's how much Venezuela got. Because if Venezuela ain't got that, then you taking it for what? Your damn leadership ignores its core problem. It ain't got no money, and it keep borrowing. And everything it borrow don't make more money. It just keeps borrowing. It's planning out further borrowing. It hasn't learned how to build nothing yet. Occupation. Or misoccupation. Motherfuckers got really willy-nilly after the Titanic and start just doing and saying anything and electing anybody from any country, from any time period, from any background, from any other different school, philosophy, or secret society. Can you imagine this shit? A whole cabal of these people. And then boom. You wonder why this shit seemed like some Illuminati film. Because, nigga, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's been taken over by someone who doesn't owe anything because they didn't sign no treaties or contracts with us. They get away with everything. Unless the puppet's turn. Pretty soon it'll be the puppet's turn. I don't think Trump got a choice. Remember, Trump ran out of options. Yeah, he out of options, guys. That's the story everyone's missing. He's being puppeted by Israel right now. And it's causing chaos socially in the United States. Of course, Israel doesn't care about that. Have you noticed how they did Gaza? So you imagine it's the same type of mentality that's involved in this. The system in the conflict does not care about your feelings. You got to judge the quality of the people running it first. Then you get to Trump. Since he's working for them, right? It's not him. He's compromised. Epstein, he's compromised. They're all compromised, man. You understand? The Epstein list proves how many people are compromised. What is Epstein? What is his father-in-law? What is Mossad? Who does that belong to? So release the Epstein files. You're talking about Israel's covert operations of compromising important people and have them in positions in different parts of our society in order to cause policy to go in their favor, up to paying for all their health care, their soldiers, and everything that they need, although their fucking economy is hysterical, and the rest of the world don't even want to deal with them as people. But that's your best friend and ally you want to send all your extra benefits to, and then tell your people you ain't got enough, government shutdown, tough, but we have a war room in the Pentagon, don't talk to media no more, but we got time for Venezuela? Like, all that's madness. That's chaos in itself, I mean. Like, outside of the civilians versus the government's agenda, the government itself, that's chaos. All those federal slashes and jobs, those were government, right? The government is nothing without the people. It's the government's firing itself, right? All right, cool fucking story. That's chaos. Where you have to cut yourself down. You're cutting yourself while you're preparing for a war. So the things that cause you to lose all your money in your debt or your investments that are going sour, which are being privatized and being built by foreign companies, by the way, they're not buying all this shit up with US dollars, bro. Like, they're international. So keep it in mind. As they're soaking up all the resources and fucking up the banks and the liquid and stuff, they're not playing the same game as you. I'm gonna get old, I'm gonna invest in some properties, some investments, and I'm gonna rent out things, and the money gonna come in, and I'll pay off the things, and blah, 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 blah. No, they're gonna squeeze until they can't squeeze no more. They're foreign, meaning they're not invested in the people. They're foreign, meaning they don't give a fuck about the building or the fire or the roads. They're foreign. They're gonna squeeze it for everything they get out of it, and then move on and squeeze someone else. Right now, they're causing the United States to try to squeeze Venezuela. Like a puppet, like a bully on a string. That's what's going on right now. They're bullying. They're using the bully. The bully got problems at his house. Mom and dad fighting. They facing eviction. But the bully got to show up at that park. And that's what this energy is. This is United States history happening right now. I don't think people realize it. They still looking for partners and people to go on dates and have a good time with. Nah, your country is at stake here. The United States' fate is at stake here. It's that fucking serious. Remember, minding our business in Africa and the Middle East is some optional shit anyway. That didn't change the stake of the United States. Maybe investments and prosperity for their pharmaceutical companies, but the United States would have been fine if there wasn't rich pharmaceutical companies. Now, this ain't that. The United States is not fine as it is. It's not getting better at doing what it does. And it's behind on time and technology. On top of that, rare earth minerals be damned. Even if they have them, what are they going to build with it? And more importantly, who are they going to sell it to? All their poor people and homeless? I hope you understand what I'm saying. The United States can do anything right now and actually create some cool things, and no one outside the United States will buy it. Tariffs, sanctions, shipping costs caused by the United States. So imagine you, the United States, cause all of these new trade route delays and restructuring and AI plus friends, and then they figure it out and it starts to grow again. And then they can map that trajectory. And then the United States goes, hey, we got some new products, let us in. How? It's never done that in human history. But that's what I'm saying. The United States does not have a strategy for a GDP. I'm saying it can never pay off its debt. It can't ever fix that problem. So it's trying to get rid of that problem by doing something else. Obviously, it has something to do with Venezuela and other places. So they're playing a different game than us. The United States is leveraging its debt in order to fulfill some other agenda for them. Pull their card. Their time is up. Hey, right there at 140 trillion. Remember, they're about to borrow 1.5 more. So they're right there on 40's door. By the end of the month. The United States is down 40 at the end of the month. If Jerome Powell tells them to go ahead and print some more, almost 38 now, 1.5 more, 39.5. Come on now, 40, big 40. Just like I had, but 40 days and 40 nights. They got 40 days and 40 nights before it's 40. Can you imagine the math and science on this bullshit? So yeah, the United States is we're on the cusp of everything being different, with or without the United States. Meaning, the thing that made the United States great is already over. The dream and everyone else from other countries to come here for prosperity and for freedom, that dream itself is already gone. No J or Gen of any other place on this round, Luna mapped Earth is to be like, yeah, when I grow up, I can't wait to go to the United States. Thus, where's all the talent and brain come from? At any time in recent history, with these conditions, which we would have to come out of and restabilize, and then count on the future, which is alive now, to make some cool shit happen as people. And maybe the future will renegotiate and do cool things and link up the way to if you're not manipulating everybody, right? But yeah, that time right there where that's even possible is a long time from now. We have to get to that time first. We have to survive up until that time first. And I think that's what the whole game is missing. The United States can't afford to feed its people. It can't afford to lose to Venezuela. And it can't afford to lose the AI race, which we already know is going to be a bubble. Meaning all of its bets right now is all the odds are against them. The odds are against the U.S. I want to say us. You understand? We're Indians, but we're in the United States jurisdiction. We're not outside of it because it's in our house. Getting outside of it would be getting out of our house. It's very complicated. Very clever scheme they got going on. But even that, it dissolves in something else. I still have to deal with the second-handedness occupation of the something else because of how everyone else is programmed to fit right back into the same sockets, but with a new logo. That's what you're hoping for. That's what they're hoping for. Palantir and all that shit, they're hoping for just a new logo. Nah. No. The world don't want to work with those people. That means by default, they're scheduled to go bankrupt as a people. They're not playing as a nation. Those people pulling the strings in the United States, those people pulling the strings in Ukraine and Israel, the world, Craig, don't want to fuck with them as people. That's what's behind the United States currently, in this generation. Not when it started. But you got your textbooks from who? Those people. Those people just got here after the 40s. The fuck they know about it? They ain't tell you nothing about what their grandma say and why they over here anyway. Very curious. So we're built off of that. Currently. They would have to declare a war on the entire world for the rest of the United States' life if the United States wants to stay the United States, working with them. And that ain't really our unique individual problem. I'm just saying, like, you have to understand how severe the game they're playing is. If Israel does not win its agenda, it does not win anything. And if the United States does not help them win it, the United States does not have anything. They're quantum entangled. It's a bad business. They didn't know who the fuck they were playing with, I guess. They didn't listen to the rest of the world, I guess. So yeah. We're quantum entangled to the fate of the so-called Israel as being the children of Israel. It's a very fucking weird story. keeps looping on itself. That's what I'm saying. The United States can't fix that loop. It'd have to renege and go back and backtrack and fix and re-narrate and redo books and redo shows and put all kind of warnings on everything before a certain date. Like, it is never gonna fucking do that. Thus, the outcome is not familiar. It'll be a lot. It'll probably just dissolve and form micro factions. Actually, it'll stop being the United States, and then the people of the land occupying, or descendant, now native, they'll end up doing something else. Hmm? And then they're gonna need some loans. Cool fucking story. That the United States was not the only bank. So all they got to do is step away from the United States Constitution, but then they have a problem. The land ain't theirs. Like Texas, the states, that shit ain't theirs. It'll look Moorish to me. And so they can't uphold the laws that they're separating from either. They have to make up some new shit and hope people believe, especially that border right there, the other side called Mexico. Right. So this is musical chairs for the United States. If it does not win, whatever it's trying to win right now, it will dissolve. We're at the end of the United States, guys. Not the end of the world. It would seem like the end of the world if you were born in the United States and lived through the millennial, yes. It'd be the end of that world, yes. But this is the end of the United States. It hasn't always been here. Thus, the pattern continues. I think that's really where the odd energy or the way that people are starting to feel and respond to things, even if they don't know what's going on, they're responding to the end of a world. Like they're saying this old world doesn't exist no more. These old carrots, these old objectives, these things that I was told, and you hear it. Like everything seems to be a lie, or I didn't expect things to be this way. Like none of them. These are college people who get paid to think, allegedly. You understand? Like these thoughts aren't new, but they're very sudden. And I'm telling you, humans are the catalyst, because it's all human creation anyway, and we're the ones that keep it up. So if our feelings and moods are changing, then our imaginations are changing away from the thing. We keep talking about the United States in past time anyway. So just in self-fulfilling prophecy, the good times, the nostalgia, the old music, the old way, what it was like outside, PlayStation, everyone's casting a spell that is over. Low key, I mean, they gotta get into this metaphysics bag one day. They're saying it's over already, right? Dating, all that shit is over already. Marriage, over already. Like the way it was. Like the way they tried to play that game. To play that game that way to get that thing is dead already. Yeah. That is the United States, by the way. It's uniquely the way the United States did it. So nothing you can do that worked in the United States 20 or more years ago, you can't do that now. You got to hustle, entrepreneur, multiple jobs, and just figure things out, just to stay alive. That's not the United States, right? Like, that doesn't even make sense for the richest country in the world, right? Where its people have to hustle to stay alive. Because things are so expensive, and that's so natural for a brand new system that never existed during the American Revolution. We can't do nothing about that system. It's a bad system, but we can't fix it. Yeah. Cooked. The fuck can we do? I had a kid ask me earlier. He saw me sitting outside smoking and sat down with me when he went to the store. Came back out, and somehow he tried to small talk. And then he asked me, did I believe in magic? I kind of told him we got to. I was like, when you understand spirituality, or even some of these people in the Bible, a lot of it's magic, or what we call it magic. You talking about David Blaine in casinos in Vegas? You know how the story goes. He asked me about those people. And I kept referring to them as the ancestors, not third-party people. And I was like, that shit isn't us. So what do we mean? Do I believe in magic? We're a product thereof. He said, I agree with that. It's definitely inside of us. Yep. And the Bible kind of lines out why it's there. It didn't miss yet. If the magic's inside of you still, you got it from someone else. So, imagine. We're to imaginate. People are changing their vain imaginations. And they're changing it to a low vibrational station because there is no alternative through, indoctrination. They can't think outside of it. They're stuck in the United States box. And the United States is not a cool place. So now they got like, shit. The way I was going to decorate this little United States box, I can't really decorate. We don't live but so many years. So something's got to change. Something's got to be different. That's all it takes. You keep hearing this shit, people changing their minds about everything. Oh my God. Donald Trump and them can't stop that. Because there's nothing you can do, not even a check, that will rewrite the narrative. It'll just be the same narrative, but people with more money, and then people have the money and they're still not going to go outside with it. They don't put it aside for their bills and their food. You feel me? So you need time, literally, for things to stabilize and people to get secure in their mind again with the way things are, with that money. And then maybe they'll try, but then they'll remember all the content in between time anyway. They're not going to be incentivized to use it that way ever again in human history or the United States history. It ain't happening again. None of it's going back to the way it was. It never does. And our adults, for some fucking reason, the people older than us, don't fucking get that. That's a unique problem. But your biggest problem is a generational age gap. They just can't see the world that they created. They're still looking at it through the lens of the programming of the 60s, their damn selves. Where we are now, they were in the 90s, halfway done. There's no more fun left in the system that they inherited. And the system they're trying to adjust to prepare for a future they won't be in is impossible. No human can do that. Options versus choices. So for them to be in the way is interesting. That you're not going against countries or corporations is really a generational war, if you really think about it. 5G warfare. Gen Z, millennials, X, boomers, silent, alpha. Yeah, it's somewhere in there. We got 5Gs in here somewhere. Yeah. Oh, it's the rich. Oh, it's the classism. You do know every time you describe these variables, you're talking about older people. Even when you switch over to those people in other classes, in other races, that would be the older ones. It's all older people. It's not Gen X, although they're trying to participate. It's definitely not the millennials per capita. And nothing under us can get a job right now. So the only thing steering this ship, if it was socially, are the old people. Old people fucking get that. Donald Trump, an old dude. He don't pull up to the function. He don't be at the kickbacks. He ain't on TikTok doing the dances. He ain't in the R&B nostalgia playlist. I promise you. These motherfuckers are from the 50s and the 60s, bro. It's 2020. The whole prefix of the age changed, and they haven't. So this is really generational. Like this war, this pact with Israel, the way the agenda was supposed to go, and all that shit is uniquely boomer. That's why ain't nothing to worry about, because they out of here either way it go. But in the meantime, between time, the imaginations of everyone else is changing. That means the United States is already done. The thought, the narrative, the objective is not united at all, vertically or horizontally. Red versus blue. Red more like blue and blue more like red than it's ever been, if you got long-term memory. Cooked. Going to school, to go to corporate, to get a good job, for the benefits of stability, cooked. You want to learn computers or creativity, but you got to fight AI and data servers. Hopefully you don't live in a city that has one. Cooked. Boys and girls can't be friends per capita. Not everybody, but you know, that's the narrative. Cooked. That was never the narrative, by the way. Cooked. So like, yeah. What was united about the United States? What was centralized about the United States? What was governed by the United States is already gone. Every day you scroll, you see the fiber of everything that was getting further and further away. Like, damn, that song 30 years old? Yup, cooked. It can't even suggest to you anything else. That's what I'm saying. The algorithm has no other form of content to even suggest. It's not creative. The people that it favors too, they're just, you know, rehashing a formula. We've seen these videos before. When they were 20, when they were 10. So, rinse and repeat. 50% of the internet is bots. X amount percent is AI slop. There's not even people behind it thinking right now, you feel me? Outside of the content creator itself, and you know, once they get the attention, what they do? Pander. They're going to pander in whatever particular direction they pander to that gives them the most views. All of a sudden they'll be a fucking advocate for some stupid shit. Follow the money, part 3. So, yeah, you can't do that cycling that is done up until this point. It can't. There's no new creativity or ideas to do that to again, to keep it alive itself. Like the algorithm can die. If there's not people who are inspired and creative to make new content, and if the people are not inspired by the generative content, and I'm telling you, this is running out quick. Just like your Netflix subscription is. Especially if Netflix buys Warner Brothers, HBO's cooked. You feel me? They talking about no monopolies. Could you fucking imagine? The boomers were taught that, and they're the ones doing the monopoly game. Can you fucking imagine the science on this? So, you got to keep in mind that this is generational too. It's not a fixed, static country and people and land at one time, at all times you talk about it. No, it's dynamic as fuck. Today's society is not yesterday's society. We have to prepare and fix today's society for tomorrow. We cannot fix today's society by referring to yesterday, because half of those people weren't fucking there with us. No matter how many yesterdays there was. This place is a target for immigration because of the promises, because of the corporate benefits, because of the underhanded spending that the government gets to put in their individual, because they're humans, pockets and accounts. And Nancy Pelosi's. The boomers have been playing a wicked game, bro. Right? Can't blame Columbus, can't blame Washington, can't blame Abraham Lincoln. Shit, we can't even blame Reagan right now. These people are new. They're old now. And that's my point. They're the generation that dies next, no matter how you play Tetris. They don't want to let go of control. Fundamentally. It's them. It's those cast of characters, those colors, and those flavors of that generation. It's a very specific problem. It's them at that age group, in that worldview, of those denominations, who did all the rascallion things for the past 30 plus years, and inherited other problems. Them. They didn't pass nothing down to any of us. Trust me. So how long do you think that can last? Ever. Even if martial law did, they'll be dead in 5 years. Martial law that. Right? Fundamentally. Especially if they're injected. Yeah. The Mexicans stand off against their own weapons. The boomers can't keep up with TikTok, bro. Wake your ass up. So if the boomers cannot keep up with culture and generational shifts and nudges by tech and other, you know, weird sources trying to get money off of doing the dumb shit, then they're never going to be able to get control of the narrative for anyone new, let alone Gen Alpha. Imagine he's Trump, 90 years old, talking to a 6-year-old about patriotism and what the government and what they're going to do when they get older, enlist in the army to fight for some 80-year-old fools? No, nigga. Never in human history has that ever happened. So this is the first time for fucking everybody, it seems. And I'm just saying it's the last time for their ass. If they don't know what time it is. That COVID and that mRNA is real bad. But don't get caught up in the Illuminati being young people that you went to school with. Nigga, you old. Meaning these niggas older. Wake your ass up. We're using the fucking paranoia and the fucking sensitivities of a boomer from 60 fucking years ago. Like, upgrade this shit already. They have no idea what the fuck going on with people. Look how they raise the damn Gen X and the early age millennials. Like, these are the people in charge, bro. That is a generational program, a divide. They're the ones that said, do as we say, not as we do. That is the first generational wide case of fucking narcissism. Widespread like that. So whatever they were injecting their ass with during World War II, that narcissism gene cracked off in the boomers, man. Them babies boomed alright. Yeah, they're the snake that ate the tail, man. The other government, them people dead already. Y'all gotta wake up. Government doesn't have an age. Just the people playing the fucking game as puppets and all the little secret bankers, who are new age too, by the way. They all do it differently than their fathers. That's why they always fuck up. No honor. Thus, the way we go. That group dying, they didn't honor their fathers, and if they had kids inspiring, they ain't gonna listen to their fathers. They gonna buy some Yeezys and Supreme, get on AI modeling. Like, it's fucking weirdo shit, for real. If you understand everything. So, I hope they prepare for it. It's about to hatch. Gen Z is about to go to Gen Alpha, meaning the oldest generation is about to go away. Yeah, we're making room for Gen Alpha, then these previous generation is going away. Who's in charge of that? How old are they? You know what I'm saying? The agenda people, how old are they? For real. They could be young people, it might throw us off. It might be 20-year-olds, right? It's telling the old people what to do. Maybe. Even still, it must be only a handful. I've seen the people out here. So even if you're gonna leave it to a computer on autopilot with AI, like, why would you die inspired to do some dumb shit like that? Like, who does it benefit? You're not here. Same story. They can't even see the fact that they're gonna die one day, and that everything that they do in their final golden years here on the Gold Girls is going to die anyway, because they're not going to be here to regulate. AKA, they're not going to be able to tell people what to do and stop people from doing business with someone besides Jews. Like, you feel me? Like, the time is ticking on these people. Benjamin Netanyahu, he's not terribly old, but, you know how the sun does people, and he's one of them. Donald Trump already has health issues. You seen his hand? You see that shit on his hip, his ankle? He on borrowed time. Trump's clock is already ticking. He has all the symptoms of organ failure. Your president of the United States, you had a senile president, and now you got another president whose organs are failing. They ain't got any more classmates alive, baby. It ain't never going to be the same after that, because you have to pick a much younger president. Anyway, this is your last boomer president. So this is the last of the 1960s theosophy about civilization and how it would grow with technology. With return of the nerds, flipping all their father's investments and shit, and now it's going backwards. How did we let this happen? Computers can have bad code. Bad code don't mean that you notice it. They pay debuggers for a reason. Not because it's obvious. Thank God we gotta live to see another day, though. Can you imagine not knowing what would have happened to America if you died just a year sooner? The credit Kardashians is crazy. Window shopping government. The first batch of the century is completely useless advice. Mr. Mel says, at least the previous generation could give you solid advice like, duck if you hear bullets. How many of those people were orphans and test tubers on top of that? On Jerry Seinfeld's day. TVFB 13, 3. This is the last of the boomers, yeah. So all their ideas and their finances and all their, agenda goes with them to the grave. That's why this is weird. They're at such a late stage across the board in every dimension. So like when I see the white boys and the millennials freaking out about life and the future and shit like that, I was like, do they realize why they sitting here just feeling alive for the first time in a long time that their grandparents and parents and the people that they're in their government that they perceive in their head is all about to die? Giving up like this is the rest of their life. What are we talking about? You could put a damn time limit on this shit. You don't need a new Mayan calendar. Tick tock, life and time. These niggas is old, bro. The older they get, the stronger they don't get stronger as they get older. Y'all bugging. They ain't got a lot of time left to even be like to get out the bed and go to the goddamn building to sign a thing and talk about it. Look at Biden. They talking about they clones. Who the fuck making old clones? Shut your ass up. ET phone home. They got technology as cool as cloning, and the clones are just terrible. They get old and shit. Like the fuck the point? Narrative? There goes that pesky CIA again. They just keep cloning boomers. Cut it the fuck out. So our generation is just cooked in the meantime because we gonna have to get older during the fucking rebrand. Then the damn ball is on our court as a generation. That is what everyone's waiting for. The boomers have been the center of attention for many generations. That is what the problem is. They skipped millennials. They skipped Gen X a little bit. Gen X had the benefits of it, but they didn't step up in charge of, you know what I'm saying? They didn't rise to that level of it. The doors are locked to the game by boomers, man. From Wall Street to government. It's all boomers. Don't worry about it. Don't let them distract you. Those old senile people. You know what I'm talking about? Is that a civil war? When old people fucking up all the money? Since old people got all the fucking money? Anyway? It's old people who ain't paying all those taxes. It's old people who got the most money in properties. It's old people. Not even people that go to work to worry about it. You got people who work for a living beefing with people who don't work enough. Meanwhile, the whole time, my taxed out, shut your ass up. You got a whole generation of people who old enough to be your grandfather who don't do shit the whole time you've been alive because of the system that was set up for them to invest. Crypto is supposed to be the millennial thing. And you see how this shit went. It's back into the boomer-ass government's hands. You got little Gen Z kids like, yeah, this is so exciting, XRP. Your ass wasn't outside when you had a damn telephone line from your damn mama's bedroom to the goddamn kitchen. Shut your ass up. Feel me? It's a ping pong match between the oldest and the youngest. And neither side know enough. Tough. They call that shit a bell curve. We're a bell curve generation now because of time. We're at the bell curve of generations. It's never going to make sense to you. The new ain't yours and the old ain't yours either. But you're next anyway because of how age works. Imagine the science on this shit. Pretty soon, we're going to be the only ones here left to take this shit serious. That's more scary than everything else. Can you fucking imagine? For real. Donald Trump ain't rerunning for president. He's sick. It's over either way we do this. You feel me? So whatever their last minute decisions are ain't got nothing to do with us. Pretty soon, most of Africa will be 30s, which is end of millennials. China, the same problem. Most of their people today are over 54. They'll start fading off soon. You have a world full of millennials in just about 10 to 20 years. Either way this goes. And we're letting the AI being funded by the nerds with the regulations of boomers to last for 5 years, nigga. Cut it the fuck out. We gotta use our imagination in this motherfucker, boy. This is our first time in human history being this age, though, so I get it. It's the first time for everything, quite literally. We're not kids anymore, Craig. If a business open and we don't buy it, it don't exist. If a business open and we ain't hiring in it, it don't exist. I'm telling you, it's like 10 years ago. Before this shit flips all its poles. For real, bro. Like, we're running out of time in so many dimensions. It's weird. For everything to come to this point here at our age where we are going towards next, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This next decade gonna be a bitch when it comes to the transition of power. It don't matter how much power they have when they dead. Y'all, I know y'all ain't gonna be like the only adults on the planet fighting with robots and AI programmed by grandparents that are not here no more. I know y'all don't think that's gonna continue for the rest of your life. You can vote allegedly. Can you imagine when the only people you can vote for is your age or younger? Yep, you're up next. This time on mRNAZ. The fix is in, boy. 5 billion people got that joint, boy. Them older people cook, man. I'm telling you, I lost so many of them. I already did. That's what I'm saying. That's the illest shit about life. I'm already next up to be the oldest people in my family. Do the science. My mom gone. My dad getting older. His mom and his dad gone. So as soon as my father transitions, and mind you, he in prison. So as soon as he transitions, I'll be the oldest person in his branch on the planet. Allegedly, right? You know how these stories go. But as far as I fucking know, I'll be the oldest person in my family through that heritage. And then on my mother's side, she gone. Right? So I'm about to be boomerless in Seattle. Hold on. Her dad gone. Hold on. The only one left is her mother. And she's already on the heart thing with the pacemaker and the life vest. So that mRNA already got her in a weird way. But she's been vegan most of her life, so she survived that first wave of whatever the fuck that was. However, you know, once they're at that age and that's where they are, you can almost map out the time that they have left just in general, let alone without that. So you imagine, we're dealing with exponents and multiplication at this point. So it's just a fucking matter of time. That's why I tell you what sucks about getting older. Is that you don't realize how young you are once everyone before you is already dead. That is a plot twist. See, my mom died when I first got conscious. Like, as soon as I was conscious of a body, I knew my mom was dead. So I got used to this concept early. But to be 40, knowing that by the time, Lord willing, if I get to 50, there's a very high chance that I'll be like the oldest fucking person in my family left. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't a whole bunch of time left for these shenanigans. That's an ill-ass time clock to go against, too, by the way. No pressure. I'm just talking about myself. That's fucking heavy. If you don't look at it correctly, that shit could be heavy. For real. Within a decade, I could be the oldest person in my family. Before I'm 50. They ain't prepare us for that. They ain't leave nothing to us, Anything they try to leave to us, they bum-ass family members try to steal or take, just for their ass to be up next. You feel me? And anyone still alive, not immediate family in my family tree, but horizontal to them, it's less than 5 anyway. It's less than 5 anyway. That's not a family unit. That's not a tribe. That's like a few good men. And they're not the good ones. Can you imagine? There's less than 5 people left. Right now, as of 2025, for anyone who's a millennial, who's been through something similar because of what happened during the pandemic, and families and relationships and divorces and single mothers, you just add all that shit up real quick. There's a lot of people out here who ain't gonna have nobody, let alone to move into the age of the de facto authority of a civilization that has nobody older than them left to refer to. You gotta completely freestyle this shit come another 10, 20 years. 2040. From now to 2040, boy. That's all there's left, for real. Stop fucking playing. From now to 20, if they don't land this trick between 2030, right now and 2030, actually just for the whole, the number to stay large enough for this number to matter. Because you gotta think about that shit too, going to a war for real. You feel me? That don't add people. No matter how you do the math, going to war do not add people. Even just the war side effects. Strain on trade, resources, money, social benefits, all that shit poured into a war machine. Trust me. Ain't nobody trying to have 3 to 5 kids. And that's just over a couple of years. So then you skip. And then people start having kids again once the new number stabilized, but now your new number is so much smaller. So then those people have kids. And then their elder class will be so much younger because they skipped. And then that gap between them and us will be like, what, 40 to 50 fucking years? That's a thin-ass gradient in between, too, by the way. Right? I'll be a millennial with a Gen Alpha kid. That means my kid will be like my grandbaby. So that's a whole history, a whole timeline, a whole everything, a gap. And that's common for so many more people than the opposite, actually. Now, you take those people alive and you throw them into battle and consequences and immigration and leaving the country and everything. There's less and less people in the already thin, because those are the only people who can afford to do such things in that group right there anyway. They're no more 20 years younger than me anyway. That is the working class of the United States. Anyway. What the fuck going on? They said they were running out of Social Security anyway. That wasn't our pivot point. The problem is the people who thought of Social Security and regulate Social Security are going to be dead either way by the time that shit run out. That kind of fucking makes sense. It lasted as long as they could possibly fucking live as a generation. That's my point. They created that shit for them. That social program was created for them by them. It wasn't supposed to exist for you forever. Until you took over and figured out what you were going to do in the Ponzi scheme. That's the point. It's almost like implied. Like, well, whoever's next gets into this office and reads these letters, hopefully they do better because we sure owe a lot of money to somebody. You feel me? Over and fucking over again. From George Washington until now. It's almost a joke in itself. It almost seems like magic, if you understand who our ancestors were. They think they got control of something. They don't understand how evil the whole thing is. Come to the United States, you take over things de facto, you run the shit into the ground, get yourself into the debt, collect a whole bunch of enemies, make the whole fucking world pissed off at you, get into extreme isolation, and then population calls off, mRNA ain't help, then your money run out, so then your velour and your energy war is off, so even compared to everywhere else in the world, you'll just be looked at like a girl who hit the wall already. United States walking out here 50 years old talking about is ready to settle down and shit. You understand anything? United States old, bro. It's one of the oldest here. So like the same dynamic between us and a boomer or Gen A and us, the United States has that same problem with the rest of the world, bro. The United States is an old bully. These other nations are brand fucking new. A new assortment of people who are just now mixing for the last 100 years. Look at the dates of their flags. This is new. New verses, please. These are new bloodlines of people, mixed in or not. And they're acting as such, like they have 100 years in a row being a mixed civilization of people. The United States does not do that. And the United States is the oldest one here, which is why it's the only one that kind of doesn't do that. It's using colonization era strategies in its politics. And obviously it's spending, because its spending is racist. We talk about systematic white supremacy. That's almost the word, but whatever it is, his ass is almost up out of here. Time don't wait for no man, for no man. You know we ain't gonna keep the shit up. The fuck? That shit was oppressing us. So, what's gonna happen? Anything that happened right now, temporary. That's my point. Anything, for better or for worse, whatever happens in the next couple of days or months or years, it's gonna be temporary anyway. You can schedule when this shit gonna change. As soon as there ain't no fucking boomers left telling you things, then what? We have a society of single old people. That's crazy. Got a good 30, 40 years in the tank, don't they? That just means they're gonna outlive everybody else that was before. That's all. And whatever the fuck becomes of this is destined to change. That's probably why we got the brunt force of it. That's probably why we were the before and after kids. Because we're the witnesses. We're the catalyst for why it's going to change. Imagine that shit. Cowboys and fucking Indians. Can you fucking imagine this shit? This country only gonna have cowboys and Indians left soon, boy. I'm telling you. We kind of have to plan for that future. Nobody alive running the United States or intelligence agencies will even fucking be there. Thus, they're useless. I'm not saying that to be cold. I'm just saying, quite practically. They're not going to have to live with their responsibility or the consequences of their current actions either way we do this. That's how dangerous, like if it was just up to them and no magic or gods or anything, we'd be fucked. They're not thinking holistically. They're not thinking about us. They can't, actually. That's, they're the most myopic generation that's existed. They're not homesteaders building homes from scratch for their families. They're the ones buying them with fucking federal loans and credit. First generation. Thus, very entitled and spoiled and didn't even realize it. All you gotta do is get a job, though. At one of them corporations that give them all those investment portfolio dividends. That's all you gotta do. All you gotta do is work hard enough to make sure they get their Social Security stipends as you pay into it. All you gotta do is just keep on saving, but in the meantime, rent from one of their, rental companies. Like, people haven't even started to look at this problem vertically yet. That's how fucking far gone the change is versus where people was at with what changed so far. The game changed. because of age. Hmm? The pandemic happened and all the millennials turned 40, man. Wake your ass up. Yeah. The old heads don't carry the torch until they're dead. They already passing it. They ain't got too much time left. Trump 80. Biden was cooked already. So imagine those are presidents, people with money. Now imagine all their constituents that didn't have anything, let alone people to give a fuck about them. Veterans. Ain't that many left, man. You're a president on a time clock. Yeah, bro. It's scary. That's scary, actually. They could start a bunch of wars and it won't fucking matter either way. They can spend $5 more trillion in the United States debt, and that'll last them until the end of the final paycheck. Either way, bro. As long as people start to understand what fucking time it is, then they'll, you know what I'm saying, we'll act accordingly. They ain't gonna keep playing in everyone's face too much, bro. Not the young people, at least. Not the millennials and younger. That ain't gonna happen. Gen X getting tired of this shit. They 50 now, right? Gen X, y'all in here? Y'all like 50s, right? Y'all tired of the bullshit, too. Y'all tired of being ignored and all that shit, too. I get it now. But you had a chance for a marriage and some kids, I heard. So how did you do? All right, you back out the Matrix Part 2. Cool fucking story. You're right there, too, ain't you? When the boomers pass on, obviously, all that goes to you. What are you going to do with it? We know you ain't about to go in corporate America and get a brand new job so close to retirement. You should leave all the work until millennials. I know how this story goes. But are you going to have Social Security? What are you going to do with it? Politically, what are you going to do with it? You remember the land before time, too. It's a generational problem, guys. We have a people problem. Gen X is spearheading the red pill movement, by the way, though. So imagine that socially. You have a whole bunch of red pill and mgthefuture men stepping into positions of authority de facto by their ages. Experience, because the people older than them won't be on the stage no more. So you'll see them as the oldest person alive, and you'll be like, oh, these are the red pill divorcee guys. That's gonna be fucking fun. That'll be fucking fun, right? That's what that transition right there is gonna be for the fucking ages. 2040 can't get here enough. 2040? Gen X judges and lawyers? Dealing with marriages and alimony? Y'all know what time it is? Y'all don't know what time it is. Y'all don't understand how fast that shit changes when you're in the wrong age group. That's what I'm saying. Gen X up next. Yep. In terms of policy. Millennials are going to be up next in terms of the flow of everyone younger than us because of our positions, still working, not retiring. Influence of the society through the workspace or the creative or the community space. But Gen X, that's all your legalese people, man. I'm telling you something. They trying to figure out how to retire. Yep. Once their parents transition, the ones that haven't, leave all that shit to them, man. Keep it in mind now. New money. Wait, you watch. You watch how they act. You watch how the generation that said they had worked so hard act once they get a whole bunch of windfall money. You be like, oh my God. Oh my God. Money don't change you. It just make you more of who you already are. Oh my God. But they got vaccinated too. Keep that in mind. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So yeah, we're in a very interesting conjunction, I think. Freeze. Damn, my bad. It was supposed to be based on a true story, but this time I guess it is. The gospel, pray for the peace. Been having those pop-ups the past 2 days. Damn, the audience won't notice the generation up next for not noticing. No, they don't notice it now. There's a lot of old people missing already. Shout out to PT Cruising. What's good, bro? I tell you, I keep running into people who keep saying my grandmother died, my mother died. Like, it's steadily happening across wider groups of people. So when you hear about that, you're like, oh, that's just one person out of a small community. No. This one person every week is random on whose family member it is, but the person as a role is already gone. By the time you figure it out or hear about it in your own social circle, there's so many more people who already happened to. Me. The people I run into. Yeah. Nobody I meet got a whole lot of family left, actually. Someone always just transitioned recently, too. I'm telling you, I called one of my aunts from New Jersey a couple months ago, or a month ago, and she was like, yeah, such and such transition. My sister, I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm going to the hospital now. Such and such is in the hospital. They got hospitalized. What? That's like the original crew from the 80s and 90s, and it's like less than a handful of them left. They're the oldest. They'll also be the loneliest. They're the ones per capita that have the most problems with their kids, generation-wise. So there's gonna be a lot of single by default, not single because of dating, but single because of people not being alive. So you have a lot of old single people with those mixed dynamics of family or last man remaining things. That's the generation that has the most kids strung out too, black or white. All the meth users, all the crank, all the trank. Those are people's family members who are not representative of the future of the family at all. You understand everything? So as the oldest people in the family get old, those, you know what I'm saying? Like, people ain't trying to even keep their family members alive either. I wouldn't know. So, yeah. They'll talk about this time in a different way. We're just too close to the fire of whatever changed. Boom. Sure, slicing these people. Needed more children to go into college and to go into debt. Got uncles that could fix cars. Reagan industry didn't want to deal with entrepreneurs straight off high school, so they defunded Job Corps. I know. Very selfish. That's crazy how selfish it is in hindsight. That just tells you how much worse it was socially during the real time when it happened. Mr. L says, XRP is about to make everybody a millionaire. Sign up. Those are the ads. Hell no. They think there's like unlimited numbers. They really think money's unlimited. That's a weird science. It would have no value if it was unlimited. So they understand the game, they don't understand value. But you need to understand value before you talk about currency. So it's like, it's tutorial culture. It causes you to skip fundamental steps. You got a really good three-point shot, but you can't dribble the ball. That's weird. They just stand there and wait for the pass, I guess. Don't block me. Don't guard me. That's how it is. As soon as their strategies are blocked or guarded, they burst into tears. It's fucking, I lost all my crypto. How could this happen? You're playing a game. It happened because you're playing a game. And games are not supposed to be taken seriously. Yeah, these people take this shit really serious and then they own life over it. They lost a game. They lost a round. They can go back in a game and win again. They won the first time, right? That's weird. Can't win again? What's that about? It's not like their life legacy and all their hard work hours and sweat and tears and broke down cars was invested. It's a few fucking clicks of a mouse and some private videos. Like, come on now. But that speaks to the intensity of, their programming. They'd rather not live and figure it out. That's sad that this is the product of this society when you finally give those generations anything that looks like money. They don't know how to fucking act. That's how long it's been withheld from us. That as soon as people get it, they fuck it up. That's not a good enough reason for them to keep it either, you know what I'm saying? So for everyone else who had it to keep it, because we can't handle it because of the conditions the people who had it created. Like, you understand the system is collapsing on itself, theoretically, like the narrative, at least. It doesn't make sense. So people want to start holding it accountable for it to make sense in order for them to survive. A drop in a credit rating, right? The United States had 3 stars, now it's down to 2. That jump from 2 to 1 is quick. So a 1-star civilization in credit. With banks already being silently giving $50 billion over the weekend. Like, no accountability, man. Don't know where we're going to get these food stamps from for Walmart, but we got plenty for these banks out here now. And people are withdrawing their money and leaving the country, too. Don't forget that. Like right now, I feel like I hear people talking about, well, what's the point of America? We just leave the country. Well, you ain't got a job and you ain't got the money. That's a cool dream, though. But for everybody else that can't afford to go, bad news for them. They already did. That's how you knew the jig was up. People who played the game and won it by whatever those rules were for them to get so far ahead of us, they saw the current change and said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm out. Already. Look it up. Billionaires leaving America. Millionaires leaving Canada. Same story. So if you don't have millionaires, you don't have new businesses, right? They ain't paying for none of this shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they got the $1 million already. They gotta hope that they can transfer that energy and game the system they move to long enough for the rest of their life, because they're generational too. So yeah, it's end game for those people. If they over 60 or 70 and they leaving the country, they're trying to figure out a way to keep their money until they die. Game over. So all those bank accounts, all those loans that are connected to their storehouse, just like that. That $50 billion is because they couldn't cash it out. Your bank ain't got no cash on hand. They can't cash it out. That's tangibles and assets and value on record, but it doesn't have cash. That's a big fucking problem, because where did all their cash go? So a bunch of investments and then bring cash back. Same story. Cooked. We're gonna have to get a Shelly sells seashells temporary economy in a minute in this bitch. For real, for real. Because we ain't bartering emojis and memes, are we? I know that's right. So we ain't bartering anything that we produce on social media, are we? I know that's right. I don't think enough of us is gonna get good enough to be artists at 40 for the first time. So we gotta know what's right now. So yeah. Fucking fucks. Fucking banks. I'm a goddamn banks. And the banks are catching strays. I ain't got time for this shit. Stop playing with us. Smiths are the builders and banks are the banks. What a combination of fuckery, man. That's everything that's collapsing. Oh well, life goes on though. Stay woke out here. That's probably why so many people are waking up with their superpowers on. Go and need them. For a little while at least. Kind of have to wait for a certain amount of people to die first. And suddenly it's your turn. Can you fucking imagine? parlay generation. That's hilarious. Eamon Ross says, but their supers just like it, though. They just stand and shoot. No handles, no defense. I wonder why the game has changed. What happened to it? Trading iFunny boosted rates accounts. No. They can keep it. Keep it. No. This shit we're in flux, bro. We're in a wormhole for real, bro. This shit ain't gonna land the way people think it is. I think it's gonna be funny. I don't even think about it in terms of danger or nothing. All the shit that we worried about is just a string of good decisions waiting to happen anyway. Hey, farmers, farm. Hey, grocery stores. Get the supply line to your grocery store. Everybody else, buy whatever the fucking sand dollar is. That'd just be enough for living, but then all the other games and schemes and construction and building and generations and teaching and technology, that's a different story. But you have China right down the street, man. They don't have a people problem soon, so they're going to have to expand in the nature of their generations anyway. That's why they're doubling down now, because they probably got, 10 years before they have a very similar problem, a vacuum of their society. But they built all the infrastructure already. That's what makes them a little bit different. They got a lot of tofu dreg projects, but they don't short on their transport. They don't short on productivity. Hey, temporary houses for temporary people, it seems. But their end game, their big picture, nah, they're prepared for a population culling. Because remember, theirs is different. If we lose 20% of our people, the vibe of the United States is cooked. China got 1 billion people. They probably got more millennials per capita on planet Earth. So, they have a different type of thing going on. But it won't be like it is now. But maybe their technology will make it so. Japan got that problem. Japan stayed with a problem dealing with these niggas. So ever since Japan switched sides and allies and all that shit, they've been having a problem too. And I'm telling you, it's the same condition, the same corruption, the same. If the results is that your population in a given banking society has negative childbirth, you or a loved one may be entitled to usury. They tell you this in slavery on the islands. When Spain came and had a war with the natives and they went back to mainland, can you fucking imagine? You've been there the whole time, you know how to get somewhere else. Anyway, once Spain occupied it and there was no animals and nothing left, they brought in the slaves, I guess. And they don't really tell you who they were. They always tell you the slaves were mixed, but they always focus on Africans for some reason. Anyway, that civilization, when mixed in with the indigenous, what ended up happening is they lost it again because the indigenous and the slaves stopped having kids. They went red pill. Once the society goes red pill like that, to the point where men rather not have kids, that's it. There's no incentive, there's no retirement, there's no pension. It's just, you can give a person all of that and they still will say, no, I'm not having no kids with these women. Or the women going, no, I'm not bringing no kids into this dimension. And it just has to be enough. Not everyone. It has to be enough to where when they finally move on, or they play the game differently too, because they ain't got to work as hard because there's no kids to feed. They optimize just feeding themselves. They know they're not going to have kids, so they live and die a different way. They move on. Thus, a lot of these cities, people move on out the city. They're like, why am I working this so hard for? I can just find a cheap little area once TikTok tells you where they are, because they're like, hey, we're the new people. Help us out. Like, you'll see a lot of that mass immigrations and Trails of Tears, part 3, 4, and 5, you know. They'll do it all over again, but with different people in charge because of age. The corporations can't afford that. The banks definitely can't, because the banks will have to pick up and follow you. But the people doing that are doing that to get away from the corporate model, too. Don't let them start bricks. Don't let them start bricks over here. Where you go, hey, I got a $20,000 idea, and I need a loan for $20,000 to bring it to life, blah, 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 blah. You just apply the bricks online or some shit like that, and they give it to you. That's why they got to do what they do in South America, because that'll be your supply route. Mexico, Canada, Brazil, Venezuela. You can bypass anything local. But that's the crazy thing, it's not really local to you because it's a foreign government. So you'll be doing business in such a way that doesn't require licensing or regulations or too much contact, I should say, with the federal part of things. Because you're not dealing in their currency no more. They have no control over that. They only have control over things that you assign your social security number to. That's why you have one. That's how they're tracking you. So if you end up, I don't know how they would do it. Well, crypto wallets, anyone can get one with the email address, I guess. But whatever that biometric type of thing they're pushing in UK, you have to imagine this. Okay, people finally did it with their phone or whatever. That gives you all the proof you need as a human to sign up with anyone's shit. The bad side is like, oh yeah, Terminator totalitarian. You already have that. It's called the United States, but less techie. But if you open up the trade lines to the world, you can be wherever you want in the world and do the same thing we've been doing with computers and jobs or, Zooms and shit. You get a whole different tax form for a whole different currency, for a whole different set of regulations and terms because you're bypassing the dollar. This ain't their land. You can do that shit from Hawaii. That's what Russians do when they come here. That's what a lot of Chinese do when they come here already. And then they told you they had mad illegal immigrants on benefits through the same federal government already. They didn't say all of them were poor, though. Don't miss it. They didn't say all of them were poor, though. They don't give you those statistics. They don't give you the average income of the household of the person getting benefits illegally. You assume it's poverty. Nah, that seems like good business, understanding USC codes and all the things in between us. They got maximum benefits. That did not mean they were poor or ghetto or none of those things they project on our people. Keep that in mind. I saw white people on TikTok talking about they're getting $4,000 a month, whereas the average is $6 per day. Subsidiaries towards your grocery bill if you have a job and can't afford food is $6 a day, practically. But there's families out here with $4,000 a month. That's way more than $6 a day per person. Why would a smaller person or kid need more energy if they're not working? So maximum benefit type people, a lot of them, they're not even us. So imagine one of us get food stamps for $180 a month and that family got $4,000. How many times do we go into that equation for that family? Like 20 times. So that one family is feeding 20 people. But the problem is the one person. You feel me? You see how distorted the gnosis of this really is? On purpose. Because that's a social issue. That's white people acting like, they're positioning those types. They're positioning themselves as being better than or more entitled to things and hiding all their ways of manipulating things that no one else knows. The manipulators know how to manipulate. Like, oh my God, breaking news at 7. Like, yeah, they would have to, because this is not their country. Everything's a benefit when you're a visitor. Everything's a benefit when you ain't build it with your hands. Everything's a benefit when everyone else got to do it the way you planned. Like, and if you're part of that by proxy, yeah, you're on the side of beneficiaries in Indian territory. Keep it in mind. So that social thing, that cognitive dissonance, they won't ever root issue. They can never get to the root of the root issue because of that illusion. It's sad. It's sad. So their next generation that takes over for them as a group or a tribe, they have no frame of reference to survive that and have the advantage at the same time at least. They can survive. They just can't survive with the ball in their hand. And I don't think they've ever have a frame of reference of living that way. They don't have their history. And those who don't know it are doomed to repeat it. These people are evil, man. Just the ones that we live with. In control of everything. Those are some evil people, boy. They always refer to the United States a long time ago. Projecting. Gaslighting. Nah, your motherfucking ass is alive today pushing the levers and the buttons, and you could fix it. And you chose not to for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That's evil. Emmett Ross says, I grew up in Oak Park, out here in Chicago. I saw kids live in the big ass houses, but when they register for school, they're not using their dad's income as a reference. Mom came up there with that zero, free lunch, and vouchers for books. You got it. You got it. And that's how businesses don't pay taxes. They find all those little loopholes, and they be on more welfare than any person could ever be, playing in your fucking face. That's the craziest thing about this fake ass society. But if a woman on Section 8 got a boyfriend, it's the end of the fucking world. How you expect her to have more kids? Oh, he just can't live. He gotta work and be it almost creates situationship laws. It creates tricking in itself. That's crazy. Y'all listen to that Corey Holcomb strategy guy that he got. He said, I know I got one thing that most guys don't have for these women. $200. And he'll tell you, he said, I'm talking about the real ones. He said, I'm talking about the ones from the streets. You have his pick out there, boy. As long as he got $200 on hand. That's the nature of the beast, though. It's not a man or woman thing. That's the side effect of the system, the position they find themselves in. Don't act like there's other positions to be in for them. Don't make me laugh. Everyone getting fired. Cut it out. Everyone else working hard getting fired. Can you imagine the science on this shit in the future? Wait, the hardest working people and the overachievers got fired first. GG's. Morale. Drake. Morale. These millennials in their car going through it, boy. I don't see the point of anything anymore. Y'all skip so many steps on the way down. You don't cut your dramatic ass. You know what I'm saying? It's the 12-stage process for them, that's all. For the ones that survive it. They'll get to the other side. Once they realize there's nothing they can do about it. It's going to happen either way. It's inevitable. It's a Thanos snap called AI. And that shit ain't even ready yet. Somehow the snap still took half the people. Stay woke. They ain't even got all the fucking Infinity Stones yet. They already snapped. You know we could. King Wells says with the Mexican slow jam going on in the background. Yeah, someone said it. They're working on their Ferrari or their Lamborghini, I think. He's the one with the Lamborghini. Yes, I think so. If that ain't his Lamborghini, no, he's working on a friend's car. Yeah. His friend brought an old car up. It looked like an old Cadillac. With fancy lights in it, though. Like they got LEDs or some bullshit. It's something they doing to it. They're fixing something in the car, though. Like in the door. Like in the inside of it. It might be wiring or something. I can't imagine driving around in a Lambo through the desert listening to this shit, though. I'm not cowboy and Indian enough for this shit. He said, I'm laughing my black ass off. You're crazy, man. And for real. You think it's a Katina or some type of Mexican bar. Nah, this a dude with a NASCAR-ass garage and a Lamborghini he don't barely drive. Fixing a friend's car. Like, shit, he might have sold it. I don't even see it. There's some cars in the way. He got like 3 or 4 cars, but still. She took my money and shot my dog and then and She took my heart and stepped on it and slept with my boss. Dun, dun, dun. That's what they be singing about. In case you didn't know. They be singing over these hoes, bro. See, R&B be like, I love this hoe. They music be like, man, this hoe destroyed my life. That's why they be playing it in the bar, man. For real. You do Hector El Father, I think. Is that his name? Mevoy. Mevoy. And then read the lyrics to that shit in English. Even Donna Moore. Yo. You talking about her too. And the dude from the fucking the Dominican brothers from New York. You know what I'm talking about. Aventura. Same fucking story. Aventura and Hector El Father. They did that song. They remixed that song together. I'm telling you. Them up, man. Get you a passport if you want to. You better listen to that playlist first. They wife be leaving them, boy. For real. That's your Wile E. Coyote out there after the Moors and Indian Associates lost control of the territory. 1868. This is post-Reconstruction blues, man. We have new men and new hoes and they're very high pergaments for some reason. Yeah, man. Welcome to America, part 2. Not all of them, though. Just all those songs. Everybody ain't artists. Artists always go through that shit, though. I think we go through shit like that because we're artists first. Like, you need fuel for art. So your life is going to be very artful with fuckery. You gotta transmute that shit and deliver a better message and beautiful pictures to the rest of the world who's also probably gonna go through something similar. So it's the art that keeps giving. Broken hearts, man. Makes some of the best art in the world, don't it? Shit. One might be able to say some of the best art is a side effect of trauma. If it wasn't for the trauma, you would not have the art. So is it working hard or is it surviving? What's important, working hard or surviving what you go through? They're not the same thing. They sound like it. It might sound like you have to work hard to survive, but there's plenty of people surviving who never worked hard, so we know that ain't true. Shit, some of the people don't work hard and get more than you, so you know the working hard ain't the clue. It's getting to the other side of whatever's in front of you. That's the only hard part. Getting to the other side of some shit. And most of those problems ain't money problems anyway. That's what the art be talking about. Notice there's not a lot of art of pharaohs in their tombs. But there's art of everything else. Yep. King Law said, yeah. But yeah, what y'all got going on at 6 o'clock feeling like 12, man? I might get the fuck up off of here, man. I don't want to bring the vibe too far down with that soundtrack. Jesus Christ. It ain't that sad outside. It's just somber. S-O-N-R, right? It just feels like something's in the air. And that's normally fall. It's normally fall by itself and the dread of Mariah Carey's song playing everywhere. But since they kind of fucking up the vibes on Thanksgiving with food scarcity and Christmas, ha 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 ha, who are your friends with? Because society is in a real fucking headlock. That's just the added assignment to such a normal downgrade of energy from the sun, right? Less vitamin D, less sun, less radiation. Hibernate for everything else, but we don't get to hibernate. We get to work and figure out rent tomorrow. So they've been abusing that nervous system the whole time we've been alive, for real, if you think about it. But none of my business. We're not farmers. So, but we descend from farmers. Can you fucking imagine? Our nervous system is incompatible with this bullshit. We're not even in our natural cycle based on who created us. And I think that overrides rules and laws and what everyone else is. Honestly, it's common sense. Genetics. So, this world is not in our genetics at all, so it will continue to express whatever our genetics are. Obviously, we're not made for this bullshit, so it will cease to exist very shortly. Y'all are no longer imagining if everyone's imagining something else. Universal law. The mind is all, and the universe is mental. Change your mind, you change your universe. That's it. Everyone change their mind, and everybody change the goddamn universe at the same time. Shit. Fighting over the controller. Everybody know this shit don't work. And if this is a higher dimensional operation, it'll have no choice but to fix it, right? If it's trying to get rid of it, it'll be gone. That is the silver lining. If something higher than us wanted this to be gone, trust me, they would not be leaving it up to boomers and Trump. So obviously this world is still afloat. This Noah's Ark is still arcing, boy. So we're gonna be all right. Yeah. Wait till you find out you're on an ark built by a giant. It'll make sense one day. We just got some stowaways. That's all. Some of that DNA wasn't the DNA they needed, but hey, what can you do in a pinch? What can you do with 40 days left? What can you do? What can you do in 40 days? That ain't Noah's fault. The airway's been busy, but not messy. Yes. It's the shadows that are arranging or preventing some deaths. Oh, you talking about you seeing the shadow people out there. Lord have mercy. 3, got people listening to Mariah while waiting on hold about EBT. It's a cold world. Oh shit, that's crazy. The fucking the hold music. All I wanted. Ass niggas. I try and figure out if your shit came through. That is evil, actually. That's eviler than the evil itself. Tone deaf society. Can't read the room. Can't read the fucking room. Because of benefits and profit. I've been getting so many she's defrosting memes. Oh, Mariah Carey. Marie. Carey. There's Carries in my family too. I'm a Carey. I wonder where her bloodline starts, what land they're in. I wonder if they're from the north, because the Careys were. One of them grandmothers that Carey. Anyway. No, the only thing we gotta worry about is goddamn banks. Banks and benefits. That's promise. We're being citizens that work hard, by the way. I ain't against benefits, by the way. I'm against people holding them over your head and never giving them to you. You gotta worry about boomers and their age. Due to the population at large, due to mRNA. That one right there, vicious. Gotta worry about war. Damn. They're playing those right now, one of those. Well, it's not a little bit of problems, actually. As I keep writing, there's a lot of problems. Shit. God damn. You got one more. You got all of them. Oh, feminisms. What else we got? Damn. Mental health. Can you fucking imagine the stats there if they did their job? Yeah, group psychosis is on the rise. What else is? Oh, money. God damn. Shit. I'm like, tell me if I missed something. So there's all the problems. I just freestyled these problems that I can think of that I've covered in this conversation so far. And there's more. There's room for more, but I think these ones came to the top of my mind first. The biggest problem, banking. Banking and the nature of the banks and all their bailouts is directly connected to benefits, whether it's loans, credit, houses, cars, all the things that you're promised as a citizen. You gotta go through a bank. So if they're having a hard time, your benefits are gonna have a hard time. That's just what it is. Boomers, you guys are done with age. You're out of the mainstream game. You're not the mainstream consensus no more. So you're getting older, you gotta find your place in a world that's constantly changing because of technology and, of course, sociology. But the rich ones among you, just the 1%, they are dragging the rest of us to hell. Act your age. Help. Population. Well, the mRNA thing is very curious. They're never going to talk about it, I guess, while it's still happening, right? But they're going to fucking insult us in a few years and talk about, oh, you know, the recession of 2008. They did not call that in the 2008. In fact, they lied and said it wasn't. I remember. War. Well, you got to put UK, Ukraine, and Israel in that bitch. And the rest of the fucking world, too, because shit ain't just sweet over nowhere else. But Venezuela, that is a weird fucking story. We talk about banks and benefits. They are quantum entangled. These motherfuckers are quantum entangled no matter what the fuck happened. You got the Holy War. That's the backdrop in all your books and religions about the big grand plan when it comes to extra dimensions. It's like, well, right here where we are, you got the Indians versus the others. That's a war as old as the country itself. We're still here though. I mean, can you fucking imagine? They had us in the first half, I ain't gonna lie. Then you got the government, and that's everything. That's like the people who are moving the people around. Corruptions. Oh my god, with extra S's. So, to fix any of these things, benefits versus corruption, that's going to be very interesting. Don't forget, rupture is right in the middle of it, like rapture, same story. Same root word, rupture. A rapture, if you will. These things are being raptured. I might read the Bible one day. And then you got the public, which is everybody. Consensus. What the fuck is that? You ask anybody which way to go next, and they all gonna give you a different answer. That different answer is a consensus problem. People don't know. And they're not supposed to. I propose because that's what the government's for. Definitely the damn banks. They're supposed to know before anyone else, but because they don't seem to be sharing their information because they're busy hiding files, and they definitely need to borrow money for some fucking reason after investing in what the boomers' ideas were for the population. And at the end of their idea, since it didn't work, they want to go to war for you anyway and act like they holy about it. But goddamn, don't forget, you in a land full of Indians. I don't give a fuck what any others say about it. Y'all niggas still dealing with corruption from a goddamn other foreign government. Now back to the public. See, same story. The knowledge. It's the age of information. Remember, age of information, info is not to be confused with truth or revelations. Just access. So we have the biggest access to knowledge thanks to the internet. But most of the knowledge that we have received, our reference point is propaganda. Our reference point is propaganda. School. So one day we're gonna have to go to fix schools, or dare we call them erudition camps? We should get some erudite out here instead of educated. Then you got internet, bots, and AI slop. That one right there is going to kill the vibes the fastest. Because you may not know that yet, even watching me. Most of the content being created is automated. So it'll scan the internet for videos or some copy and paste, but it'll create the thing, it'll upload it and create the headline. Thus it'll get tired faster because this doesn't stop. That's every time you doom scroll, you'll see that account with something, and eventually you'll get tired of it. And guess what? The algorithm does too. Ain't that a bitch? That's how they keep shit new. Then you got families. Oh my God. If we survive, but the ones that survive, well, you gotta make a new one. You gotta replace all these boomers one day. You got red pill versus feminism. So feminism's losing its steam. Red pill don't know where to go because at the end of the day, they just want women, right? But they don't want the feminist women. So that back and forth, as they're not moving or budging, that's causing them to destroy the facade of some of themselves. At the meantime, I forget, everyone's getting fucking older. So, you know, hopefully that'll fizzle out to a happy medium soon. That's the real democracy. And then you got mental health. Oh my God, across the board. Everyone's questioning their worth, where they are, where's this going. Even this damn video itself. Psychosis. All right, I don't know what's real. Cool fucking story. No one does, even when they thought they did, obviously. And then you have the money problem. Cool. But the cost of using it is the problem. Not the cost of living with it. It's the cost of using this money, which is causing the inflation. That's why they ain't got nothing. Because the way that people are using the money, abusing the money, sending it to a foreign, other destination, obviously. We're in a war about this. And then you got entertainment. You know, all of our pleasant distractions. When you can wake up in the morning with your coffee, get in the car, heat the damn car up, and you turn that goddamn CD player radio on. At least you know you can tune out of all this shit just for a few minutes at a time in a stoplight. Novelty. Shit. Where it at though? How come your artist ain't artisting? I mean, we already know it's corruption in the consensus of all the damn algorithms, but I'm just saying, like, even if, well, there's plenty of good stuff out there. If you know, you know, blah, 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 blah. Well, I am talking about goddamn consensus. Where it at? Well, novelty, consensus. So we have a consensus based on novelty. One thing about novelty is it's accelerant. It's a like y equals mx plus b in this bitch. Like, it's a point slope format for real, but we ain't got to use that. I just saying that because that's what that is. Y equals E plus 13 type shit. You'll understand everything one day. Anyway, you'll understand everything about Israel one day. Yes, you will. You understand the 3 cons and 3 kings one day. You'll always see that. It's always telling you something about angels, but that's a different story for another day. Isn't that Sun, the cartel of El, the cartel of El Salvador, the cartel of Sun, Venezuela, Venezuela? Let me see that one more time. Venus is right there. Venus. All right. Yeah, Huela, like escuela. I know that's right. The L is right there. I know it is. The angels of Venus. I've seen it already. We're talking about Gabrielle again. She always in the airwaves. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget your way home. Ass niggas. Gabri. And that's the same thing as saying liberty. If you talking about Libra, by the way, don't you fucking miss it, bro. And then once you understand that you don't miss it, bro, you talking about the sexual liberty on justice and Jesus, though. Oh my God, masculine and feminine properties of the same Venetian principle. Don't worry about it. They want to go to war with the Venetian principle. We're just talking about the principality of its state, by the way. Don't you miss it, damn it, Boomer. You going to war with Gabriel, Libra, and Jesus. That's a crazy story for some Indians, but really just Israel. So, what you understand, this is ancient Egypt. What else could we be, bitch? We are the Egyptians. Hello. That's Jupiter. There's Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus. You get Mer and Ven. You got Merovingians. I know that's right, Matrix. Zion ass niggas. The Merovingian is Mercury and Venus. Easy. Fucking easy in every degree that we do this. Every degree that we do it, it's the same thing. Law of polarity, law of gender. You can't miss it. But it's built in this language, English, angelish. Can you imagine? You can understand angel code if you understand angel code. That's a weird story. But yeah. Yeah, liberty and justice for all. Liberty and justice is liberty and justice for all. It's Libra and Jesus for all. It's Mercury and Venus for all. It's Isis and Ra for all. L is all. God is the all. Come on now, stop fucking playing with me. Same story. Same story. Y equals mx plus b. So they don't understand their problems. So what I'm saying is you have a little problem, and as time goes on, you have two problems, and as time goes on, you add them together, you get three problems. You add 3 plus 2 together, you get 5 problems. And these problems will pile up, man. It's exponential. All this shit's exponential. It's all going at once. Anyway, you just gotta find out what point on this slope that you're on. And I'm telling you, everything on that point slope is pointing to home. I already know what time it is. It's a holy war. With a lot of unholy people in our population, especially amongst the boomers. They fucking with the banks. They running out of benefits in their old age. And a lot of them suckers got the mRNA. They looking for a cure, and I know it ain't in Venezuela. They better go get the others to help them out and clean the swamp with all this corruption. But can they do that without a public consensus? No, not without propaganda. So they got to take over to TikTok for the bots and the AI and get you the red pill and be less feminist. Causing both of these groups to go into a psychosis. Like, where did the feeling go? But now I'm tired of using it because the cost of using it and all these things is like, damn, I ain't left with nothing, not even a new blueprint. But yeah, I guess I'm entertained with all this fucking novelty. It's a language written by angels. That's why we can do that. You can use it to channel. The kid earlier asked me if I believed in magic while we were talking English to each other. Weird fucking story. Anyway. 3 hills and hills. Yeah, man. We out here. Yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. It's 619 Foley 1. I don't know. I don't know where to take the ball next time. I spend the rest of my day at night. Well, it feels like it's goddamn 10 or 11, so it's fucking me up right now. So I guess I gotta get used to that. But because there's so much more time in my night now, I think more about profound things in the meantime. I think about it like abstract, like, bro, where's this game going? Like my journal, for instance. Or even that whiteboard, like doing those little exercises to keep my subconscious mind and my little neurons sharp. You're channeling yourself. Anyway, but once you, you know what I'm saying? Like, once I started, like, just writing more and more, and I've been, like, realizing the tone of, like, where I'm at with it passively, like, going back and reading and, like, oh, shit. And I'll underline certain words so I can do what I just did with that whiteboard. So I can read it and I will, but instead I just look at the word cloud that I underlined. Like I underlined certain words that stand out to go back to later. Like how grandma used to do with the Bible. And I'm doing it with my own. So I can just quickly look at the underlined words and find out like, okay, so right there was something about a trip, something about money, Instagram,